Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 28th. You have this horse card. It says Freedom in Action on it. You also have this whale. It says Wisdom Keeper on it. So let's see what is going on for you. Definitely a week of action, I would say. I think your readings have really been talking about taking action, but you have the Chariot, which of course is a card of taking action in new directions and having a victory, hopefully. So I feel for a lot of you that you could be thinking about moving in a new direction. Even the Page of Swords would say that you have been curious about a new direction in your life, or you've been curious about, you basically have been thinking about taking action on something that you've wanted to take action on. And so, that makes perfect sense at this time. But let's see, you have the Death card, the Chariot, and the Three of Cups. A Death card can represent a transformation or some sort of big change. We even have the Tower here, which can also represent a big change that's coming in for you. The Tower actually makes a lot of sense on this card, with this reading here with the Tower, because the King on the Death card is dead. And it just says that, it kind of represents the fact that nothing is immune to transformation. Even kings die. And so the whole point of the Tower, the Death card with the Tower, is that it could be like the death of establishment. I always say that the cusp of Pluto, Pluto's in Capricorn right now, but it's going to be moving into Aquarius on November 19th. And the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius is the death of establishment. So, literally talking about the energy that we are all experiencing and have been experiencing for several years now, because, Pluto's gone back and forth over the cusp several times, and this is the last time. But definitely could be, a lot of people have had the Tower again this week. A lot of people have the Tower in the October reading. So, it wouldn't really surprise me if there were like global Tower moments or something going on in the world, or like, another person like Diddy getting arrested or something like that. Like I said, I think between now and 2033, we're going to see a lot of that stuff going on in the world, so it just doesn't really surprise me. But this could also just be you letting go of something that has been established in your life in a long time. For a long time is what I meant to say. But this could be a good thing, because we have Five of Swords, Death to the Ten of Swords. Tower. I'm going to probably keep doing that in the reading, because I feel like these two are connected, obviously. But the Ten of Swords is actually showing up in the good stuff. And the Ten of Swords would represent a blessing in disguise, or, you releasing something and figuring out that it was actually for the best. So don't be afraid to set yourself apart, especially with this Chariot card, which is kind of what I feel like this is saying. The crown is falling off the top of the Tower, and, this could be you kind of building a new crown, or, kind of building a new kingdom, or something like along those lines. So some of you, might be feeling like you're starting over, although I don't really feel like you are, which I also feel I say to you all the time, Aries. It's not really like you're starting over. I think what's important is that you're not starting anything from scratch, maybe, but, it's like if you're leaving one business for another, or one job for another, it's like you are starting over, but you're still bringing everything, like all your knowledge and wisdom, forward to this fresh start. So I feel like the Chariot is really you heading towards a victory, or moving towards a victory. Family is something that has come up for you quite a bit. So you have the Three of Cups here, and, family could be very important for you at this time. Obviously we have the holidays and things like that, but this has, been coming up for you all year, all of 2024, where you could be spending more time with family, or you could just have, it's like sometimes I think we have those cravings to be with family, or just to be with people who are close to us. And, I feel like you've been feeling that feeling kind of like all year, like hoping to, spend time with your family more, or even you could be creating a new family, but this could be like, it doesn't even have to be children, right? This could be like friends, or just people who you become close to. And I feel that there's something about like family, but not, for some of you, yes, it is people that are in your family, but I almost feel that you are creating a family, if that makes sense. With the Three of Cups, it's like you're creating, better people to surround yourself with, or, something like that. With the Death card, you have the Chariot. Yes, definitely leaving something behind. The Chariot, I'm going to show you on this version, is just easier to see. He is leaving that city behind him behind. So he's like leaving behind everything that he has known, and he is moving in a new direction. It's like this reading is pretty simple. You even go down Page of Swords to the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is, going on a new adventure, moving in a new direction. So, it all fits together well. With the Chariot, you have the Ten of Pentacles. It's like I'm hearing like going for broke. I really feel you are really going for something at this time, especially if you have an idea or if you're working on a business or your career. I feel that you're really kind of going for it. And the Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. And, it doesn't mean you're going to have everything you want and desire, but it does mean that you might have a craving to work towards everything you want and desire, which you could be doing here. With the Three of Cups, you have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is illusions and fantasies and being spoiled for choice. So I feel that you have a lot of options right now. I'm not really getting much on this Seven of Cups, if I'm being honest. I feel it's like you're just looking at options. I don't really feel there's anything to say. I feel like I have nothing to add to that here, Aries. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I think you're just, kind of weighing up your options. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Nightingale spirit. It says love is all around. You also have this Buffalo spirit. It says the abundant universe will provide. So I feel that there is more abundance coming in for you. The Nightingale always reminds me of being able to do more than you think. The Nightingale, I have another deck, the Tarot of the Wild Unknown Animal Oracle deck, and the Nightingale is this like tiny little bird that is sitting on a gigantic egg, and it kind of represents the fact that the bird itself is capable of doing much more than it realizes. And I feel like that's where your abundance is going to come from, is in kind of like going for broke, like I said, with that Ten of Pentacles. And so I would really go for it. You have the Five of Swords, the Page of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. The Five of Swords can represent a separation or walking away from something. Really, I feel like you've learned how to win. I feel like it's kind of like lonely at the top, right? Is kind of the feeling that I get on this Five of Swords. It's like when you think about it, it's like sometimes losing in life is better. And I don't really believe that, but just bear with me here, Aries, and let me explain, right? It's like sometimes when people who lose, it's like they get the support of the people around them. People might gather around them and give them advice and things like that. But when you look at people who are always winning, it's like whenever something bad happens to someone who's winning, people say things like, oh, they have tons of money, so who cares? Or, oh, they have this, so they can deal with it, right? So it's like when people at the top, it's like they don't always get the support of people around them because people are like, oh, they're successful, right? And, again, that's not obviously always true. I'm sure someone's going to take that literally, but, I'm just giving an example here. I'm broadcasting to a billion freaking people, so bear with me. But with the Five of Swords, again, I get that feeling of some of you kind of, realizing that you can, having it all is not everything, right? And you have that Three of Cups, which is talking about support from your family. So if you are feeling lonely, again, I feel like there is support for you, but maybe you have to ask for it with the Five of Swords. With the Page of Swords, again, I feel like you're curious about a new beginning, or you're curious about something. Like I said at the beginning of the reading, he's looking over at the Ten of Pentacles in the Chariot. The Chariot is about setting yourself apart, but again, that Page of Swords would say that you are curious about setting yourself apart. And we go down to the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands kind of says to me that you are going to go on this adventure, or you are about to do something where you do set yourself apart, or you do stand out in some way. You have the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands can be about carrying heavy burdens. I like the Ten of Wands because he's about to reach his home in the background here. I really do feel that the Ten of Wands is kind of like Pluto and Capricorn energy. We've all been dealing with Pluto and Capricorn for years now, many years. And so I think the Ten of Wands is kind of like, getting to the end of that long journey, getting rewards for your hard work. I feel a lot of people are probably going to feel a lot better once Pluto goes into Aquarius, because it's like we're able to put those burdens down from Pluto and Capricorn. So, again, I kind of feel you're getting to the end of a long journey. With the Five of Swords, you have the Page of Wands. Yes, it's almost saying that you have to take the risk here with the Page of Wands twice. The Page of Wands only has enthusiasm to guide him on his journey. And you have the Queen of Wands here, and she is a card of learning as you go. So I feel for a lot of you that you could be about to take some sort of risk to go on a new journey where you don't really know where you're going, but you're going to do it anyway. With the Page of Swords, you have the Eight of Cups. I do believe that a lot of people are making this decision as well with the Eight of Cups, that, I think that it's really been pointed out to us what serves us and what doesn't. A little while ago, we had that final Libra eclipse, which I think kind of was pointed that out. We also had that full moon in Aries. Just what was that, last week or the week before? I can't remember. It was on the 17th, whatever week that was. I think it was last week, and that was opposing Libra. So I think a lot of us have been, it's kind of been pointed out to us like what is working and what isn't. And the Eight of Cups is just walking away from things that no longer serve you. So I feel a lot of you have been just walking away. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Five of Cups. Yeah, this is like the result, right? The Ten of Wands is doing all this work. The Five of Cups could be disappointment with the result that you're getting, but that's not really what I'm getting here. But there is something about results popping into my head. It's like I wonder if you are realizing that, it doesn't matter how much work you put into something. It's like sometimes, people don't like appreciate the result, right? Like in relationships, I think sometimes in love, people are with a person where it's like no matter how hard you work on the connection, the person doesn't really appreciate it, or maybe they don't do whatever you want them to do based off the work that you're doing. And it's kind of like a tough pill to swallow, where it's like we can't make someone love us, right? And I kind of get that feeling here on the Five of Cups, where it's like you're realizing that like no matter what you do in some circumstances, there is nothing you can do. But we go up to the Three of Pentacles, which is really good. This could say that you are realizing that you can only do as much as you can, and maybe you need to focus more on people who are willing to work on your team with the Three of Pentacles. This goes for all areas of life: love, money, business, everything. And so I kind of feel pretty good about the Five of Cups, actually. It's like, yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, like I said, but at the same time, it's like you're saying, well, I am who I am. So, it's like either, I think you're more focused on people who actually appreciate the work with that Three of Pentacles. Next, in the area of the good stuff, or messages from your future self, you have this Reframe card and the Soul card. A couple of people have had this Reframe card right here. The Reframe card is about like looking at something and looking at it from a different perspective, reframing it. And so I feel for a lot of you, you have a great opportunity to reframe the situations that you're in, and you can turn them towards the positive by looking at them from a different perspective, or you can focus on the negative. The choice is yours. You have the Queen of Wands, the Tower, and the Page of Wands. The Queen of Wands is about learning as you go. As I always say, she is my card of learning as you go and being bold, being assertive, really going after what you want. And I definitely feel the Queen of Wands is saying that. Pretty much everyone has had this for this set of readings. Like a lot of people I've noticed this week have had the Queen of Wands, and which is interesting. And it also makes sense. We're getting to the end of the year. It's kind of like we have this little bit of time to like do something before the year ends. And I kind of feel that's why the Queen of Wands is coming up. It's like saying, like, if you haven't done much this year, like now is the time to accomplish something before next year. You have the Tower. Again, a lot of towers this week again. So it wouldn't really surprise me if there was some sort of global tower moment. Or some sort of world leader stepping down every time, the tower comes up a bunch of times, like something happens. So it wouldn't really surprise me. The other thing is that I do feel like you are accepting reality. The tower, I believe, is a good card because they're, the whole point of the tower is that they've built those walls up around them and they have been ignoring reality, and now they're being brought down to reality. So they are basically seeing the truth of the world, of what is going on around them. And there's really nothing wrong with that. I kind of feel, again, that for a lot of you, this could be in your relationships, and I'm talking about all relationships. And I feel that you could be seeing that, like, it doesn't really matter like what you do. It's like people are only, people can only come as themselves, and I feel like you're more focused on relationships that are more Three of Pentacles, where it's more equal. It's like, I think the whole equal relationship thing is basically BS, because it's like relationships will never be equal. It's like someone will always be bringing more, and it might switch back and forth, which is fine. It's like, as long as there's kind of equal give and take, right? It's like sometimes you give more, sometimes they give more. It's the only problem is when you give this much and they give this much way down here, right? And so I think this is you kind of like accepting the reality. I also feel for those of you that have businesses, this could be you accepting the reality of, the fact that people will never care as much as you do about your business, right? And it's like, so sometimes we have to accept that reality. I have a bunch of employees myself, and I don't expect any of them to care as much as I do. Some of them do, but I also, kind of have worked on, supporting them and making sure I treat them really well and things like that. But again, it's like no one will really care as much as you. And this is not a bad thing. It's just life. And I feel that. You have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is about going on an adventure and really going after what you want. And I feel that the Page of Wands is also about following your enthusiasm. We have the Sun card coming up here as well. So I would definitely move towards your enthusiasm, things that get you excited. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction and kind of like just changing direction. You know, the guy on this card is normally looking at the pentacles that he's grown. He's saying, is it worth it or not worth it? And he's making a change. We have the Eight of Cups here. So it's like clearly there's some sort of change coming in for you. With the Tower, you have the Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn energy. It's funny that we were talking about Pluto and Capricorn because this is Capricorn. But the Queen of Pentacles is about resourcefulness, and a lot of you could be kind of like tapping into your resources or using your resources to, kind of better your future. I get this feeling, like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I get like a little bit of a feeling of feeling left behind, or feeling like it's like I would be careful of putting, I would be careful of putting certain, like, I don't even know what to call it, but it's like, let's say that you think most people who are going to be successful in life are successful by the time they're 35, and let's just pretend that you're like 37. It's like, for what the message that I'm getting off the Tower and the Queen of Pentacles is that you are saying to yourself, you can't be successful because you're 37. But I feel like obviously that's not true. There are plenty of people that, like, Colonel Sanders, right? He didn't become successful till he was like 65. So, I feel like this is saying, like, whatever you are saying, like whatever story you're telling where you're saying like, oh, because I'm not this, I'm never going to get that. I feel like this is saying, no, not true. If you tap into your resources, if you find the right relationships in your life, then you will easily be happy. You will easily be able to get what you want. With the Page of Wands, you have the Page of Swords. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that these two are connected. The Page of Swords is the thinking. The Page of Wands is the action. So it's like you're thinking about setting yourself apart, which probably will bring you your Ten of Pentacles. And, I feel you need to stop thinking and start acting with that Page of Wands. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Truth Be Told card. Yes, Tower. Tower is definitely a truth. You have this Y card as well. So again, I think a lot of you could be just getting the truth in life or accepting a truth with that Truth Be Told card. The Y card is a great card. I'm just getting learning here. I feel like learning or learning about what you're doing would be very beneficial. You have the Three of Pentacles, the Sun, and the Ten of Swords. Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work. These people are supporting him. They are lifting him up on a pedestal. It's interesting because Libra also had a very similar message to this. So again, if you have Libra in your chart, you might want to watch it. You are the opposite to Libra. So, again, it might make sense for you to watch that reading if you have Libra in your chart. But, what I said to Libras and what I'm going to say to you is that I feel that you're kind of like creating a switch here where the people that come into your life are going to be lifting you up, not the other way around. And that's what I would focus on with that Three of Pentacles. You have the Sun. The Sun, of course, it says the sun is shining on you. There could be a lot of positive attention or joy or happiness coming in for you with the Sun. But the Sun is a really good card, and it can represent like love, joy, happiness, peace, just, positive energy. So I definitely feel there could be positive energy here. You have the Ten of Swords, some sort of blessing in disguise. Again, whatever this ending is right here is probably going to be a blessing in disguise with the Tower. If it even is an ending, it might not be an ending. It might be, like I said, it might be a fresh start. There might be an ending attached to it, but, it could just be a change. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, it's like following your heart, like moving more towards heart-based connections or heart-based people. And we're not even just talking about love here. I'm talking about everything. And so, really listening to your heart when you meet new people, or if you're like working together with new people, if you're making new friends, it's like, does your heart say that these people are right for you? With the Sun card, you have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior, but it also says don't give up. I feel like you've been working towards something for a very long time. With the Sun, the Ten of Wands, this Nine of Wands showing up here, the Chariot. It's like you've had a goal that you've wanted to reach for a long time, or you've had something that you've been kind of like aiming at for a long time. And I feel like this is saying now is the time here, Aries. It's like now is the time to make it happen. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, material success on the horizon. Definitely improvements in your finances with that Eight of Pentacles. So if you are trying to improve your finances or make more money, then there could be more money coming in. You have this handshake card. It says a meeting with a stranger could be important. Yes, there's definitely something here about, I would say strangers with an S, plural. I think you could be meeting, not even just right now, but over like the next few years. I think you are going to be meeting people who are going to be very important for your life. And I would just, nurture those connections, but really nurture the connections that give back to you, not the connections that like don't give to you, right? The ones that are like more like this, if they're like this, where you go back and forth, then keep going with those connections. You have this needle and thread. It says a sincere wish will be granted. So definitely, and you have another card, by the way. I'm going to pull it too. It says wishbone, a wish granted. So I'm going to pull you an extra card, but definitely could be some sort of wish being granted here, obviously. You have this hammock. It says taking a vacation either physically or mentally. I think everybody needs vacation right now. The energy has been like way too serious. So if you can even take a staycation or just get a break, I think all that would be good for you. You have this haystack. It says karma. You will reap what you have sown. So definitely could be positive karma coming in for you with this haystack card. And you also have this knot card. It says unsuccessful plans. I think you need to pay attention to the chariot. Sometimes I think with the chariot, we are steering in a direction. It doesn't work. And all we have to do is change direction. Those two sphinxes at the front, they face opposite directions. So it kind of says the thing about the chariot is he still has to follow the rules of the road. He has to stay on the road, but he has some wiggle room in the direction that he's moving, because those sphinxes are kind of like this. And so I feel with the tower, the ten of swords, again, something not working might actually be a blessing in disguise. But pretty interesting reading here, Aries. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.